The little girl was digging the soil with her bare hands. She uncontrollably cried out loud, then lay on her mother's grave. When the little girl woke up, her arm was injured. The father, while drawing little dogs on her plaster bandage, told her that her mother had gone to heaven. Clearly, the 4-year-old girl didn't understand what this meant. The next morning, the little girl ran up the mountain alone. Standing in the vast wilderness, she shouted the resurrection spell loudly, in order to make her mother happy. She even collected pine cones and fresh flowers as gifts. But even though she waited until almost nightfall, her mother still didn't appear. Disappointed, she started crying, but she didn't give up and continued to run up the mountain every day to call for her mother. One day, she heard a classmate say that in order to talk to people in heaven, one must first pass God's test and become God's daughter. The little girl instantly saw hope and quickly asked her classmate how to pass the test. The first test was to cross the flames. After successfully passing it, that night she eagerly ran to pray to God, hoping that God would hear her heart. However, she did not receive any response from God. She kept trying, but no matter how sincere her heart was, her prayers continued to fail. The innocent little girl thought the test wasn't over, so she asked her cousin to help her with the second test, staying alone in a dark, closed trash can for 5 minutes. For a 4-year-old, this was terrifying, but as long as she could see her mother, even if it meant crying in fear, it would be worth it. After passing all the tests, the little girl realized that all her efforts had been in vain. She didn't receive her mother's embrace. Instead, she was bullied by bad children. A boy told her that her mother's death was because the child was too bad. The little girl felt very wronged. She bravely defended herself. The next day, carrying her bag alone, and walked straight up the mountain facing the morning sun. She walked all the way to her mother's grave. When the little girl squatted down and called for her mother with all her strength, it still didn't work. The little girl was digging the soil with her bare hands. She uncontrollably cried out loud, then lay on her mother's grave. At that moment, a woman walked over and gently hugged her. Her mother had really come back. She hugged the little girl tightly and said to make the little girl promise